Hello everybody, my name is Kelvin Dankwa, he, him pronouns, and I'm a family resource advocate at Beverly Elementary. Today, for the read aloud, I will be reading you Amy Wu and the Patchwork Dragon by Kat Zhang, illustrated by Charlene Chua. This reading is just one of many that will be happening throughout the month of May in honor of Asian Pacific Islander and Native Hawaiian Heritage Month. You can find information about other events that are going on this month through our district webpage or here on the Facebook district page. Alrighty, let's begin. During story time, Miss Mary reads Amy's class a book about dragons. Dragons that hoard treasure, dragons that blow fire, dragons that fight knights in gleaming armor. Afterward, she tells everyone to make their own dragons. Make them special, she says. Make them yours. Sam draws a dragon with enormous teeth. He crafts the wings from postage stamps. Willa sculpts dragons with a big fat belly. She strings daisies for the tails. Amy paints a dragon with a long, thin body. It has horns like a stag and claws like an eagle. Are you sure that's a dragon? Asks Sam. It doesn't look like a dragon, adds Willa. Amy says. Maybe they're right. Amy scribbles with her pencil and doodles with her crayons. She glues beads to the paper and some to her hair. Bits of dragons emerge. Dragons with shiny green scales, dragons with leathery wings. They look great. They just look like the dragons in Miss Mary's book. But none of them work. None of them feel quite right. These dragons are not the dragons Amy wanted to make. Time to clean up, says Miss Mary. I'm not done, cries Amy. The rest of the class put their dragons on the show and tell table. But there's nothing from Amy. Nothing at all. Willa and Sam come over after school, but Amy can't even smile. Oh dear, says Amy's grandmother. Why the sad face? So Amy tells her. Her grandma gets a twinkle in her eye. Come, she says, let me tell you a story. She tells them about dragons that bring down the rain, dragons that are wise and just, dragons that fly without wings. Amy runs to the attic and remembers where she got the idea for the dragon. She pulls out something red and yellow, something with a big fat snout and golden horns. A dragon, gasps Sam and Willa. A dragon, agrees Amy. Amy's grandma puts on the costume head and Amy puts on the tail. Together, they dance down the attic steps and roar through the house. Maybe you can bring it to school, says Sam. Please, please bring it to school, begs Willa. Says Amy. She thinks about the dragons in Miss Mary's book. She thinks about the dragons in Grandma's story. Bringing this dragon to class would be great, but there's something missing. Something to make the dragon Amy's. After Sam and Willa go home, Amy begins to plan. She shows her sketches to her family. Will you help me? She asks. They measure out fabric and cut it into shape. They carve a cardboard frame and fasten it to the cloth. Amy knots together 3 silk scarves. Then she adds some beads. Amy adds some glitter and a little more glitter, just because. Ready? asks Grandma. Amy takes a deep breath. Ready, she says. Amy comes to school with a big paper bag. The other children gather around. Is it your dragon? Asks Willa. Show us, cries Sam. Amy puts on the dragon's head. She invites Willa and Sam beneath the dragon's tail. Together, they dance through the classroom and roar between the desks. Everybody cheers. Miss Mary laughs so hard, she can't even breathe. Amy's dragon is red and yellow. It has a big fat snout and golden horns. It has enormous green wings and a tail of 3 silk scarves, and beads and glitter. Lots of glitter. It works splendidly. It feels just right. It is exactly the dragon Amy wanted to make. The best part about this book is not only does it give you some ways to make your own dragon, it also gives you some history. So I'm going to read you some of that. Dragon activity. Please make sure a grown-up helps you with this craft activity. Have fun. Make your own dragon. You will need tracing paper, construction paper, scissors, split pins, art supplies for decorating your dragon. So it says, step 1. Have a grown-up help you trace the dragon body pieces on the following pages and cut them out. 2. Use the tracing paper cutouts to trace the body pieces onto construction paper and cut out the final pieces. You can reuse the tracing paper cutouts multiple times. 3. Use split pins to attach the pieces together and make a unique dragon that's all your own. 4. Color and decorate your dragons with crayons, colored pencils, markers, paints, or other art supplies. Amy particularly likes glitter and beads. And so here's some history about the Eastern dragon. The Eastern dragon is a symbol of good luck and strength in many cultures. It usually has a long, thin body and no wings. Its horns like the stag antlers and its claws look like eagle claws. Its body is covered in scales. Eastern dragons come in many different colors and can have a wide range of magic powers depending on the story. Often, they are very intelligent. So the Eastern dragon is the long, thin red dragon. Now, let's look at the Western dragon. Western dragons usually have 4 legs and 1 pair of big leathery wings. Like Eastern dragons, their bodies are covered in scales. Unlike Eastern dragons, they often breathe fire. Stories about Western dragons tend to show them as greedy creatures that live in caves and love treasure. Their horns tend to be sharp and pointy, and their claws look like lizard claws. And that is the end of the book. The reason I liked this book was growing up, I really liked Asian cultures. From watching anime to being interested in martial arts, one underrated piece of their culture was art. And so I thought that this book really encapsulated how unique the Asian culture is when it comes to art, and also really shows the symbolism that every character in the art pieces have. So I hope that you enjoyed that, and happy Asian Pacific Islander and Native Hawaiian Heritage Month. Take care. Bye-bye.